today that a left-winger that was upset about the Roe v. Wade decision potentially being overturned went to Kavanaugh's home with weapons and was stopped by police, where he informed them that he was going to kill Kavanaugh. Now, this is directly after we had people like Chuck Schumer say that a whirlwind was coming for Kavanaugh. We had Chicago's Mayor Lori Lightfoot say LGBT people needed to take up arms against people like Kavanaugh. And we had a litany of people, including the Biden administration, praise that even though it's a crime to protest outside of a justice's home, they said that it was okay because it was peaceful, even when threats were being issued. We've also been gaslit by the Democrats and the media, including even today, that, well, maybe it's right-wingers, maybe it's people that are happy that the decision's being overturned that are the ones that will engage in violence. They're preparing for violence from both sides on it. This is abject nonsense. It's not my standard that matters, so let's talk about what should happen here given the Democrat standards. Well, the Democrat standards said that even though people like Trump called for peace January 6th, that it was a dog whistle and was clearly incitement to violence. That resulted in his impeachment, that resulted in an FBI investigation, locking people up in solitary confinement, treating Trump supporters, especially anyone who was there January 6th, even if they weren't accused of even setting foot within the Capitol, of being anti-American and part of an insurrection. They had a special committee that went after Republican Congress people, Republican media personalities, conservative media personalities, and more, subpoenaing records. They arrested Peter Navarro for contempt of court for not applying to a subpoena. He should have just used BleachBit to delete his subpoenaed complications, just like Hillary Clinton did. Now, all of this occurred because apparently the rhetoric was enough to justify an investigation. So I'm calling for the immediate impeachment of Chuck Schumer, not my standard, the Democrat standard. I'm calling for an immediate investigation, a special committee headed by almost all handpicked Republican people, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz. Don't worry, you could have one Democrat. We'll throw Tulsi Gabbard on there so that we could say it's bipartisan. They should immediately subpoena anyone who discussed Roe v. Wade or anyone that discussed it being okay for people to protest outside the justices' homes. But that's not enough. That's not enough to subpoena all those records. They also need to arrest anyone and hold them in contempt that refuses to comply with those records. They also need to have a show trial on television where they could show off all the things they found in those subpoenas. And lastly, and most importantly, I think that social media companies, not my standard, but their standards, should start censoring anyone who wants to talk about Roe v. Wade, like they did us that wanted to talk about January 6th or COVID, saying that that could possibly lead to an insurrection. Well, the standard's been set, so no more talking about being upset Roe v. Wade could be overturned. That's incitement. That could lead to violence. So I'm looking forward to all this happening. Oh, just kidding. We have a two-tier justice system where the Democrats have no problem issuing threats, and they don't call it incitement when they're even saying things like take up arms, and someone does just that and tries to assassinate someone. So welcome to America and our two-tier justice system. I look forward to the media ignoring this story and moving on to the next thing. So thanks so much, everyone. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Check out my Twitch channel or my YouTube channels where I'm streaming almost every night around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Eastern. And as always, have a good one.